Hi everyone. Let's now look at how to create decision views in Civil 3D once you've got the corridor and the corridor surface. So we see that we have the corridor and you need to specify the position where you want to create decision views. So then we will go to the sample lines, select an alignment. You can pick here or you can press enter if you have many center lines. Only one, so click OK. The name of the sample line groups. Sample line collection is going to be 1, 2, 3. We can accept that or change the name. The data source, if you have data sources to compare, like existing surface and the road surface, then remember to tick this. We've seen that we have the road surface top level, road surface over here, so accept this. Click OK for this. Then go to this. The method range of stations. Towards the left 20 meters, right 20 meters, along the curve 10 meters, start and finish with the sample line. Okay, it's going to be similar to an enter. It's going to be similar to the corridor sections where we create before. Sometimes we can create more or less section views by changing the sample line parameters like that. If you want to change the sample lines here, you can go to the Prospector tab, you go to Alignments, Center Alignments, go to the Alignments here with the sample line groups properties here. What we have here is the sample line groups. And you have the list of the sample lines over here. Sample line collection number 2. You can go to properties to see the list sample line and the data source over here. So now we've got the sample lines. We want to export the data for these sample lines. We go to the session views, create multiple views. This is the alignment and the sample line we've got here. We can go to next. Now you choose the scale. Normally the large scale is better to see the cross sections. So here the largest one is 1 to 500. So click OK. Style, that is the presentation. How many session views you want to put in a paper and the distance between them and things like that. You can edit this if you want to, but normally not. Just check, untick the add drafting buffer size. We click OK and go to next. Next. So make sure we take all of these data as we've got here to compare the existing ground with the road surface. Go to data band. Here you have different band set. You can simplify the data for the cross section, or you can make it more informative. So let me choose major station offset and elevation. So then I have 3 bands: existing ground, elevation. That is the existing ground elevation. So we need to choose the proper surface. Existing ground surface, existing ground surface. And the band 2, that is finished ground. So that is the road surface, correct. Offset, it can be either existing or finished ground surface. Okay, and create section views. Make sure that before you create the views, you need to go to the scale of the section views that you want. In this case, that is 1 to 500. I'll find some space and then. So now you have the new section views. So you see that you have proper rope side and batter slopes. And you have 3 bands over here: existing ground elevation, and you have the proposed elevation. Let's find another examples. This one, for examples, existing ground is here, is higher than the road. At the center of the road, you have existing ground level 32 meters, and the proposed elevation 30.9, so nearly 1 meter under the existing elevation. So this is the scale 1 to 500. That is what we want for the section views. If you make the wrong scale, like before you create the views, you have 1 to 1000, and now if you create the views, if you do everything similarly, you get the scale here 1 to 500. Next, 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 next. Forget this for now. I just want to compare. So I check this here and I put it here. So you see that it's very different. These scales, even you would like to have scale of 1 to 500, but if you put 1 to 1000 on the screen, and then you have the different arrangement. You see that for this arrangement, you see that it's going to be pretty close to each other. And look at this. If you go to 1 to 500, that is the actual scale you want. Yep, so now you want to have the 1 to 500, but you see that you cannot just arrange the section views here properly into the paper size that you want. That's why we will not use these cross sections. So you have to have proper scale before you create the section views. It means you need to go to scale you want, 1 to 500 here, and then you create the section views. Check the scale 1 to 500, yeah, okay, and you go to the end. You go to the next steps. You choose suitable existing surface first, and then finish ground surface. Then create the view. Then you see that you have the section views properly presented in the right side of the paper. We're not using this anyway. We're not using this anyway, so I delete this for now. So that is the method we create section